Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Union Streamcast. Hoping everyone's doing great out there. Just a quick word about our sponsor, Rosenfeld Dental Associates, located at 1095 Inman Avenue in Edison, New Jersey. Go rock your smile with the Rock Doc, David Rosenfeld, nominated once again for one of the top dentists in Jersey for 2022. Make sure if you're going to contact them, let them know that CT sent you or that you saw this on the Rock and Roll Union Streamcast, and they'll hook you up with a great discount. Guys, this past weekend, it was my pleasure to be there for 2 out of the 3 days of BLE Ballroom Blitz. Bradley did an amazing job putting together a festival that was, man, like 3 years in the making. So a lot of great music to be had. And one of those acts is with us tonight, man. It's been a while since we've talked to these guys. I had them on the podcast once before, but I'm going to bring them onto the streamcast now. Guys, please welcome Ashton and Victor.
Hey, guys. What's up? How you guys doing? How are you, man?
Native Sons, guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
No problem. We're here.
So,
back from that crazy festival. Whew.
Man, how long? I know that you guys were there. When did you guys get into Philly for the show? Was it the night before?
So I think the guys got there the day before. I was in Jersey doing shows with another project, so I got there like Wednesday night, and I was there till Sunday morning.
Wow!
So it was a long week, but fun. I mean, great.
Man, and I know I saw Ashton there on Friday night. I mean, we were able to talk a little bit Friday night, and Ashton, you had said since the last time I saw you, which was in May, another BLE event out at Cancun Cantina, that you guys did, that the direction, the sound has changed a little bit. What would you say was the directional change from like last year to this year?
I would say that last year I feel like we were still finding our feet because of you know how the record went. So we were trying to find members that fit. I think getting Victor last year around July was definitely a key turning point for Native Sons in the direction that it is now. Finding JT as well was a big directional change. Jim, of course, he brought a lot to the table as far as marketing. So it just seemed like, the road will weed people out. And if it's not the right fit, then they're not going to, survive for very long in that unit. But I think that it was just, finding the individual members that we have now has kind of led us to where we are today, directional. And the sound is just, I think, a little bit more, it's not heavier, but it's a little more grittier, a little more raw and real. Gotcha.
Now, I know that you were talking to me on Friday night. You were talking to me about, you and Victor writing a lot of stuff together. As far as lyrical content, things along those lines, are things a lot different directionally than it was a year ago? Are you guys coming up with different concepts and things along those lines?
Yeah, we're coming up with, I think, me and JT write most of the stuff. Victor also, writes some stuff as well. So it's kind of a group effort. But, as far as lyrically, I think, it's still has remnants of the old albums. Like, there's a lot of mystical stuff in there, a lot of stuff that I was interested in as far as demonology and stuff like that. But, I feel like it has a little more, there's fun songs on there as well. Like the last album, Here and Now, was kind of just a fun song, whereas The Key was more of like, the Key of Solomon and different stuff like that. But yeah, we just write better as a unit. I think this is definitely, the Shadowhead is going to be the new sound of Native Sons.
Yeah, it has a different bite to it for sure than the first the first album. Just the whole riffs and how we arrange the songs, everything is pretty much changing. Writing keeps the same because, to be honest, Ashton writes the lyrics. Like, he's the one that came to those great ideas all the time. And of course, we have melodies and stuff that we come up with, but as far as the lyrics goes, he's just so quick, so impressive. How he came up with stuff so fast, the ideas and everything. So yeah, definitely like a little bit of the same flavor, but definitely different. The guitars are the musicians are different, so of course the band's gonna sound different. But I think we try to kind of keep the same vibe, maybe a little bit heavier, a little bit more like raw, as Ashton said. So yeah, pretty much, few changes here and there, and songs are coming out really good. I really like them.
So, are you guys handling a lot of the like recordings in-house in your own studio, or are you guys going outside your central and recording somewhere else? Who's handling that recordings for you guys?
Well, right now we're recording with a guy named Barrick. He's out of Horse Cave. Sorry.
What's that city?
Yeah, he's recorded. I think he recorded a band called Nashville Pussy. He recorded Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
Texas
for Blackstone
Hippie Coalition, or maybe the Kentucky Headhunters. That was some of the guys that he had done. So yeah, we're kind of outsourcing the recording process, I guess. We might end up recording some stuff on our own eventually, because that seems to be the way everyone else is going.
Yeah.
So we're definitely trying to, make the switch to where we can record stuff on our own.
Yeah, we got offers and stuff from producers and people, but nowadays with the technology and everything we have, sometimes you can either of course, it's good to have a producer to, help us with stuff and mix and master and all that. But as far as recording goes, with the technology, you can pretty much do a whole pro studio at home and record everything anywhere. So that's the cool part, and that's what we're pretty much doing for now.
Man, because I know coming out of COVID, coming out of the whole lockdown and things, I've had so many people tell me that they would record things and kind of send stuff to one another to be able to build music that way. Wasn't sure if you guys kind of handled it the same way, going through everything, or if you guys get together very often. I know some bands will do it every week. Other bands are a little more spread out than that.
Yeah, we try to get together as much as we can. We're always just busy and everything. And I was living in Atlanta last year, so it was kind of far from Louisville. But now that I'm here in Nashville, we're getting together more often and working on stuff. But that's what you said. Like the other day, I wrote one a riff and stuff. And I sent to JT and to Ashton, and they work, and they got a little piece of that and added to another song. And that's the technology save us nowadays. You can have good recordings and send to each other. And even if we Ashton wrote a song with JT, or I had an idea, just put in the group of the band and say, hey, what you guys think? Oh, let's change this, change that. So it's definitely easier, and we did a lot of this recently. But yeah, I mean, we like it. The best part is when they get together. Same thing when we went to the studio with Eric. We all five get together, play the song a couple of times. Yeah, maybe like I remember getting together the night before the studio, and then going over the songs we're recording a couple of times, and just to make sure, like, hey guys, what you guys think about this outro or about the solo? Just to make sure we don't lose time in the studio. Because as you said, COVID. I mean, we had hard times doing it, and nobody's like, struggling with money and stuff, and so it was hard for us. So coming back, you want to hit the studio and just track everything. So it was a great time, and we do this all the time with riffs and ideas. Me and JT are sending stuff back and forth every week. Just riffs and ideas and songs. So yeah, using technology a lot.
Now I know, like I said, I saw you guys once in Maryland, once in Philly. I know you guys travel. What is the scene like where you're at, like in Louisville or in Kentucky in general? Is there much of a rock scene? I could imagine there's probably a heavy country feel out there. But
Well,
as far as what you guys do, how's the scene out there?
there's definitely an influx of I guess gritty southern rock bands, but I wouldn't say too much country. There's some heavy country players here in the Louisville scene, but it's mainly like heavy metal, rock and roll. That's what's on
Awesome.
everybody's minds, at least. And from Skipping Stone, I'm going to name a few here: Hardrada, uh, Anemic Royalty. There's a bunch of bands here. Uh, our rock scene doesn't really match our venues. So the venues
Gotcha.
here, they're hiring the tribute bands and the cover bands. There's not really much of an original scene in Louisville. There's a few venues that you could go to see original music: Zanzibar, 21st and Germantown. But other than that, it's really hard to see original music in Louisville.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
impressive when we did the release party. I mean, we did a release party for Drama in Louisville at a local place, and we had a good turnout, like really good. We had a couple local bands with us, and we had a really really good time. And it was a good crowd, so I was like, okay, there's market for rock and roll in Louisville. That's good.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I think that's a trait that goes beyond where you guys are, because I know here in like the Jersey Philly scene, it's kind of the same way. It's the cover bands, it's the tribute artists. Every band you could think of has a tribute. Bands you've never heard of have a tribute. It's it does get frustrating for the original scene, I'm sure. Now, as far as like upcoming for you guys, are you guys working on any current new recordings, any new albums, anything like that coming out soon?
Yeah, we've got an album coming out. I'm hoping that we can get it done this month. I'm kind of itching to have it out, but I don't want to rush it either. So but sometime in September we should be dropping a new album. It's called Shadowhead. Um, we've been recording. Of course, Drama and Red Leather Woman are an extension of that album. I'm hoping to have another single put out in August, towards the end. So we've been building to that. So we're going to have a new record out hopefully in September.
So going into Drama a little bit, love the video that you guys cut for that. Could you walk us through a little bit of the meaning, like what does that mean to you, Ashton? And then maybe walk us through a little bit of that day, like recording the video, recording the music. Like,
Okay,
can you give us a
yeah, I
little
can walk
behind
you
the
through
scenes
it.
kind of?
It was shot by Forsake Media. That's a local guy here in town. He's actually now working on some LA films. So that was pretty cool to see him kind of rise as we rose as well. But I think for Drama, it has a lot to do with what happened in the last few years in Louisville, the riots, and then we had some people show up just to kind of flex themselves on us. So it was kind of watching from the outside both of these uh, both of these political parties kind of bashing each other and really just, that conflict in the city. And it was kind of just, at the root of it, I feel like it was just drama, and it's not really all about that. It's about daily drama as well. Your girlfriends, and that's kind of what the different things were about. You had somebody in the back alley fighting, you had the protesters on the street. And then, I think at the end where JT does his guitar solo, it's just like, us saying, listen to music, man, stop all the drama, but the idea for that was much like a Martin Scorsese film. Jim Quiggins came up to me and says, man, I got this idea for the music video. We shoot it all in one shot. He's like, I don't know what that entails, but let's shoot it all in one shot. So me and him did some scouting, and we ended up getting the local doo-wop shop here in town. It's like a guitar center, but more of a local thing. And it's kind of it's been here. The doo-wop shop's been here since like the 90s, and it's really rooted itself in the original scene back then. I mean, now it's just kind of like another guitar center, but it has some really cool back history. We got to use their garage. We got some professional actors. They were friends of Jim that actually do fight scenes, to do the fight scenes in that music video. So it was really cool. Like the first two guys you see standing next to me are actually musicians in the Louisville music scene.
Awesome.
Boozer and Hidden Foundation, his guitar player, also were in it. So we tried to include everything that was Louisville.
That's awesome.
Fun fact about that day, it was so cold, but like freezing. And we're both, I remember Ashton, I think we recorded twice or three times, I guess. I don't remember. I remember Ashton coming to me like, dude, if I have to do this one more time, I'm gonna miss, because he had the jacket on, and same thing with us, because we were waiting for JT to come playing that solo back there, and we're all kind of inside, like, because we were wearing like the outfit, like open shirt and everything, and it was like 30, and we're like, oh my god, okay, here comes JT, let's go. It's a fantastic video clip. I remember it being so cold, and everybody was like, please, just let's get this done so we can come inside.
It's crazy to think about that, especially with how hot it's been this summer.
Because and then because people see the video, they're like, "Oh, fantastic, man!" And I'm here thinking like, "Oh, remember we're all like struggling that day because it was freezing outside, and we all wanted to just get a great shot, don't look like you're shaking with the guitar in your hand." I think with Ashton trying to walk and sing and do all that while he was like, freezing outside, but it was a really good turnout. I love the video.
Yeah, it's a great video. And I wanted to touch a little bit, Ashton, I had you on my podcast way back when, but I also wanted to, for anybody that's watching this, seeing you guys for the first time, talk a little bit about like influences. What got you guys wanting to do music in the first place? Like, what did you guys grow up on?
Like influences musically, I guess. I guess what we all have different we all have different influences as far as music goes. For me, it's I like the writing styles of Tom Petty. He had some pretty cool hooks and choruses. I pretty much try to use his ideology. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. But I would say, like, I listen to anything from Dio to Lady Gaga to Duran Duran, Flock of Seagulls. So it's just all those different things you can learn from somebody, and you can learn a little bit from everybody. So it's just, using my influences, that would be it. Rolling Stones, the classics, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How about you, Victor?
So for me, as far as I remember, my dad was always a rocker, and he had that Scorpions, the Blackout album in the car when I was like super, super 6, 7. And then my dad said, Vic, you need to sit down. We parked the car at the house, and you're like, yeah, you can go in. I'll listen to that one again, and just like ripping that album again and again. That's all I knew for a while. And then, of course, I became a rock fan. I grew up and I was listening to it. I was always into the 80s, always big into like Whitesnake. Kiss is my favorite band. And then I grew up and I went to watch Whitesnake. And Doug Aldrich was playing guitar for them at the time. And I saw the guy and I was like, what, 13, 14? I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. So the next day we went to the Guitar Center or whatever and get my first like $200 Stratocaster choir, get Stratocaster. And then, I mean, from this, I was just playing every day, obsessed with like Ozzy, Dio, all the classic heavy metal, and just playing those out. Even if I didn't know how to play, I was just playing over and over. And then I guess I got to a point that I could play the solos, but that was pretty much it. Like just listen to all these classic bands. And nowadays I go like to the B-sides and everything, but just the 80s classic, that's what really got me into the video clips. And you see like those guitars, beautiful guitars, and the guys just long hair and all that. I was like, oh, that's it. I want to be like CeCe DeVille when I grow up. And look at me now.
Well, I know a lot of people that watch this show would later on complain if I didn't ask you, Victor, what is your chosen like brand? Do you have a brand that you go to? Is there a certain make model that like you fall back on?
So I grew up with like my favorite guitar player is Doug, and I love Zach, and I love all the Les Paul guys. So my guitar choice, it's the Les Paul, is a Gibson Les Paul. Now I'm playing a 90s, 91 Gibson Classic, but I have like those 80s guitar that, of course, I can't play with Native Sons because you just don't match the sound.
Right.
But I have like a Tiger Stripe Jackson, the Kramer. I had a Charvel. So it's yeah, but for Native Sons and for me, like personally, like I play for other bands, I work for other projects, and pretty much what I play a Gibson Les Paul. That's all you need. A Gibson Les Paul and a Marshall. Can't go wrong. People are like, oh, you should try this custom brand from whatever, Slovakia, Russia. It's like, dude, it can be cool. It can be cool. And I've played it before, but once you plug a good Gibson to a Marshall and just hit a chord, you're like, okay, this is it. This is rock and roll. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Gibson Les Paul, can't go wrong. If you want to play rock, get one. That's it.
And I got to ask Ashton, as far as favorite singers are concerned, is there anybody like I sang a lot when I was younger. I kind of stopped doing so a little while ago, but there was always a few singers that I always felt myself kind of like patterning myself after or taking influence from and trying to work it into my own vocal kind of range. Anybody like that for you? Any singers out there that you're like, yeah, that's
yeah, there was a few. I guess for the last album there was a few singers that I was like, oh, that's a cool tone. I like what he's doing there. And growing up, I would listen to a lot of the 80s hair metal guys, Poison, Cinderella. But then got into like the Beatles, listening to their harmonies and the different ways that they used their harmonies. Rolling Stones, just kind of the gritty attack that he had to his vocals. So I just take all those and just use them. But I'd say the most influential singers on me would be Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger, and possibly Paul McCartney and Tom Petty as well. Those would be the four singers that I was like, these guys know what they're doing, mainly because they were all songwriters, most of them. It's like I love their songwriting. It's as far as Tom Petty goes, he was more poppy. Rolling Stones was very much blues oriented.
Yep.
And they used all their stuff that way. And Paul McCartney, arguably could have wrote the first metal song, Helter Skelter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like these are innovative people, and they just kind of influenced me a lot.
So let's talk about the rest of 2022. What do you guys got going on from here? I know you guys just played BLE this past weekend. What's the next couple of shows for Native Sons?
Well, we just announced yesterday we're going to be playing the Rim. It's the creators of Rim Rocks Festival. We're just playing it's like this house that was built into a rock venue. It's an exclusive rock venue for.
That's awesome.
I think you have to be invited to join their little club, I guess. But All or Nothing's played there. I think Kickin' Valentina's played there. Just everybody has passed through West Virginia that's been on the main tour circuit has ended up at the Rim at some point. So it was kind of cool to go down there. We'll be announcing another show that's kind of connected to that one. We can't say too much about it right now because, we're still in the works of getting all the stuff done. But then we're going to be going to Richmond, Virginia. I would say the rest of the year is going to be focusing on getting Shadowhead out and recorded.
Gotcha.
We've got some Kentucky dates. We're working. We got some Detroit dates. We're working on some other dates. But I think, inevitably our main goal is to get that next record out because we want to share the new sound with everybody as quickly as possible. We've gotten some great response from the new songs. We're currently playing out 6 of the new ones that will be on the record. So if you want to hear what Native Sons sounds like, our new songs, come to a live show.
Yeah, they're always asking. They're like, "Oh, but I don't see that song on your Spotify." It's like it's not there yet, but we'll be. So keep coming to the shows, and I'm sure we'll listen to songs on the streaming platforms soon. But yeah, we having great responses for the new songs live. I mean, people are really digging it, and they're asking us all the time. We're like, soon. We try to get everything the best way possible so we can put it out there.
Now, do you guys have like a social media presence or websites, something that fans can come find you guys on? You announced that you're on Spotify, so people can go to Spotify. But as far as like calendar, schedule, like where can people look for that stuff?
You can find us, of course, if you follow bands in town, we're on that. We are at nativesonsrocks.com. You can find all our dates listed there as well as links to our socials and links to Spotify, not Bandcamp, but Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music. We're on YouTube Vivo. So we're everywhere that you guys are. nativesonsrocks.com.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
To find us.
Man. And one last question for you guys. Any certain favorite venues that you guys have played, or maybe a story from the road that you guys have experienced, aside from the deer accident that you had, Ashton, last year? But anything like that?
Okay. Favorite venue. I mean, we did the Whiskey not long ago, and that was really epic. It was amazing. We had a great crowd. But we did Monsters on a Mountain last year. This was really amazing too, just as an 80s fan. Opening for Vince Neil. I think we're all like, it was Vince Neil and Night Ranger. And so it was really special for all of us, but especially for me, because it was like, oh yeah, let's do it. But that was a good show. Same thing with the Whiskey. We're all hanging out on the backstage with our friends from Vala, the band that play with us. And we're all like on that cool room, and then you have on the wall like all the signatures from all these people, and that was really cool. But as far as the best story goes, last year we played the Cancun Cantina, and we're loaded. We're going to the hotel, and the drummer came to me, and I was with my guitar on my back, on a bag, not a hard case, just a bag. It was my backup guitar. And then he says, "Victor, can you help me to load the drums here?" And I was like, yeah, of course, man. Why not? Laid my guitar in the front of the van, and I walked to the back. Okay, help everybody with everything. Hey, you guys ready to go to the hotel? Like, oh yeah, after party. Yeah, let's go. Because we did a couple of dates with Kickin' Valentina, and there was the last show we're doing. So we're like, oh yeah, let's enjoy tonight. Go to the hotel and then hang out. Okay, let's go. So then everybody walks into the van, sits down, and we're all like just chilling. And then Ashton's driving, and he starts moving, and then we all feel that going over.
Oh man!
And then like blah, and then for 1 second I was like, "It's the guitar," and then we're all like that silence in the van. Everybody kind of, oh no way, we did that, no way. And then we open the door, grab the guitar bag, and we open. There's a huge mark on the side, but the guitar is completely fine. I'm still playing on the road. Never had to take anywhere to fix it. So it's just, it was funny, really funny story. But everything is fine with the guitar. The guitar is fine. My pedal board, my wireless system, everything was destroyed.
Wow. Well, it's got a road scar on it.
That's what I tell everybody. They're like, oh, what's this? I was like, oh, you don't want to know. Okay.
In my defense, Victor, I told everybody. I looked. I said, "Everybody got everything they need." Yep, we're ready to go. Okay.
But I always do that. We just played. I was working for
Oh
a band.
man.
We played Wednesday. I forgot my jeans on the venue. I always forget something.
Oh, man.
Always. I mean, I try, but it just happens.
How about you, Ashton? Favorite place to play or favorite road story?
Oh, I would say that I liked the one that was the moment that was really inspirational for me was Monsters on the Mountain. I think it was our first really, really big festival. We got to meet a lot of great people there. We had been developing this kind of relationship with the Monsters of Rock cruise people without even knowing it. A lot of people who are in Brad Lee's circle actually go on the Monsters of Rock cruise. So it's like when we performed in front of those people, we had a big crowd, and it was, the energy there was just really good. Playing events like we did this last weekend, those probably are my favorite shows. So I guess it doesn't fall to a venue more as it falls to an experience of being, with lots of people and being with people that, you want to be like or that are equal to you.
And it is really a thing to say as far as BLE and the Masquerade and just Bradley in general. It is a dedicated family. I mean, everybody that like you when there's one event, everybody's there. Like who these people are. You might not hang out with them all the time or just see them at the shows, but you know who they are when they show up at the shows. It's like there's just something that needs to be said about that.
Yeah, and Brad runs everything like a big family, so it's like, it's really easy going, but like you said, he's all over the place trying to get things done. He works really hard for the events that he does. We're really proud to be working with Brad Lee.
Yeah, everybody in that family works hard as they can to make every band enjoy. You make sure everybody's on stage. You make sure everybody's having a good time. The fans and the bands, like Brad, always treat us like family, and that's the thing that not all the promoters, not like everybody works like that. So it's really cool to have somebody like that, like him.
He's really a breath of fresh air because I've worked with other promoters that they couldn't care less who you were or what, as long as you were there on the stage when you were supposed to be, and that's about all that mattered. And Brad, I know he'll talk to you. He's invested in you. He's invested in your life, and like he's a friend more than just a promoter.
Exactly. Because most of the promoters are like, okay, you bring the money, cool, see you next time.
Yeah,
that's all. That's pretty much it. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's their job. But if you can have a relationship like that, it's way better for the bands, way better for the fans and the promoter. So why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys said that you're hoping for the next album to be out by the end of 2022. Any thoughts on when to expect that?
Well, we're hoping at the beginning of September. We had planned August, but a bunch of shows just started coming in, so we wanted to get back into the studio and really give more time to those songs. So it's looking September now, but like I said, we don't want to rush it. Music is an art. We're not rushing to put out the next album, but I do want to put out an album very soon, as soon as possible. So I think September is the next month to look at.
So
real soon. And we have one more single coming out this month too. So definitely gonna have a little taste of it, and then hopefully in September we have the whole thing for everybody out there.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me tonight for a little bit, and great talking to you guys. And I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Sure will.
Most definitely. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too, man.
All right, brothers.
See ya. All right, guys. So that was Native Sons, man. If you have not checked them out yet, make sure you do so, because they are an amazing band and just one of the many, many bands that Rock and Roll Union comes through and wants to promote out there. And just really, guys, I really try to push the best rock and roll around. And they're one of the top. Just to touch base with a few things, tickets are still on sale, but they're going quick for the Sick Vicky reunion show, September 23rd. Really excited about that, man. It's going to be a hometown Philly crowd, and we're talking Monte Carlo, Rat Rod, and Instinct as supporting acts on that show. And then we also have the Rock for Autism. That's not coming up until October, but you can donate if you're not able to come out to the show October 21st or make the walk with us on the 22nd of October. You guys can donate on Autism Speaks currently, and we're going to see if we can top out last year. Last year we hit about 750. I'd like to make that $1,000 club this year, if at all possible. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, give us a like the page, subscribe to the page, and leave a comment or two. We like to see if there's any other bands out there that you guys are interested in, and see if there's something that we can hook up for a following show. So, guys, have a great rest of your week, and until next time, don't just leave it better. Have a good one, guys.